lipstick. There's a roll of toilet paper on the floor. So this is not satisfying my perfectionism. However, also my lunch sandwich and Michaela's little drink soda is over there too. Anyway, I am working on this episode of Course Correction Healers in which I was talking to the healers group, and I need to adjust this some, I guess, and sit up. That would probably help. Anyway, so I am cuddling my blanket now because today I have a lot of work to do. My coworker is out, but I also found like a pain underneath my armpit, and I'm like, please don't have breast cancer because that would just be a tragedy. But in this episode of Course Correction Healers, we spoke about, first we talked about what it was like for me to have to rebrand the podcast, and like what that experience made me feel in regards to all the inner child work and everything that we had all really been doing. Like, to be honest, that episode was recorded in the midst of the very beginning of our coronavirus shutdown, and every person on the panel has grown exponentially since then. So I'm really proud, of course, of my growth and the growth of my friends. Like, just watching them do what they have to do has been beautiful. Fernando has been working on a new show, and I've been helping him to produce it and editing the videos. So, like, everything is kind of coming full circle. And I would really love to do this again. I'm almost done with releasing this one. I would really love to do this again the right way. And, I think what we started is going to grow into something that is absolutely going to help so many people. I'm sure it already is. I don't even know how many people are viewing the videos. I mean, that's not really a big deal. I mean, if you put it out there, eventually someone's going to see it. So, yeah, in this episode, we talked about what I went through then. And then also we hit on a subject that is near and dear to me, which is really negative self-talk. Fernie kind of gave Sapphire some information about, holding yourself back, being in your own way. There's no more time for bullshitting around. Like, just produce it. I'm going to turn this down, I think. I don't know. Anyway, just produce it. Don't worry about it being perfect, etc., etc. Do what feels good, blah, 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 blah. So let's get into it.
Right.
Amen.
Yes. Stop holding yourself hostage. Okay.
And I will say this also, because last week I was watching The View, and they have this whole setup right now where we've got like 3 or 4 people on there. And I was just like, man, I need to do this. I need to get together with a bunch of people and do this, because I feel like I need to get on camera and do this with people so we can engage and bounce off of each other. I even snapped a picture because I'm like, okay, this is how I'm gonna set it up. This is how I'm gonna do mine. And then she came up, Mikhail came up with the idea to do this. And I was like, okay, she's gonna help me understand the way she's gonna set this up, because it's gonna help give me what I need to do it the way I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
So take it any opportunity.
Well, I just wanted to get back to talking with others. Like, when Course Correction first started, it was just like me and one person. You remember that, because I was just trying to find my way after having, shut down Between Us Girls, the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, this is the perfect time for a round table or a circle type of show. Granted, we can't be together, but it can still be the same kind of conversation. I want to talk to other people who are experiencing what I'm experiencing, people who are vibrating at least almost near me. So, like, we can vibe, you know what I mean? And just really have a conversation about this experience we're having, but from a kind of a spiritual place, and just really be true about it and not be looking at it with rose-colored glasses. You know what I mean?
I have a question about that experience for you, because I mean, when you work and you build towards an established brand and it starts to gain traction, and then for
Yeah.
it to just stop, and you already were dealing with inner child issues with rejection or feeling
Yeah.
picked on, or feeling like you were the odd one or something was wrong
Right.
with you, right? Or everything that went wrong was your fault. So then when that happened, did you go into that dark place? Did that reawaken within you, feeling the sense of rejection from just that whole setup with the other girls? And then when you had to, because you rebranded essentially and you got away from
Yeah.
as girls brand, did it feel like that for you?
Well, that was a really, really tough time overall because I was on an upswing. It was major upcycle that same week. Like we were about to interview Rachel Dolezal. I was like, this is going to be it. And I kept saying, which I guess now I know why, we're not going to work in 2020. We're not going to work in 2020. But I thought we were just going to be so famous that we weren't going to work. But turns out
nobody's working in 2020 apparently.
Right.
Except me, I'm still working.
Well, I'm working too, actually, and it's been very difficult to juggle my life and my work and my kids to have mercy, Lord. But that experience did put me in, I was already we went to Dallas that week. It's very difficult to pinpoint what set me on the downward spiral. You know what I mean? It was kind of a lot at the same time. In the same week, it was Danielle quitting, Nipsey Hussle passing away, and then getting this really weird download, which I think you probably remember me texting you like, oh my God, I think I was going crazy. And you were like, who, me?
No, that's what I was thinking, because you were like, this, and I was like, what the hell is going on with this bitch?
It was super scattered, but that really was, I guess it was not rock bottom, but it was like a spiritual rock bottom, because I hit this, I guess, realization that what I thought wasn't. So of course it did hit me right in the inner child, because I felt like I was being punished again, but by the universe more than anything else. I felt like I was getting a major ass kicking, and I didn't know why me. And it was all behind a podcast, which is so crazy, but I have built so much around it. I mean, we were doing a lot. That was 100 straight episodes. And then, we're going to interview a celebrity. I thought I was fucking making it. You know what I mean? No.
Do you think you got too cocky and too comfortable?
I think I just was comfortable. I thought that we were just going to continue to be a group. I couldn't see why we would not be. I mean, we weren't really chummy, but we were still going to work to record the show and to get the work done. So I didn't really have the anticipation that it was just going to end like that. And it was so sudden. It was I just quit. And I had nothing back up. There was nothing to fall back on. So it was I was scrambling, trying to figure out what I was going to release and what I was going to post, because I was holding myself hostage to, I have to do this, or I have to be releasing this, or I have to keep going at the same pace. And I did not have to do that. So I was holding myself in this cycle of really self-abuse, to try to work myself that hard by myself to keep up what 3 people were doing.
It sounds like it was no longer fun at some point. I don't hear the fun and the excitement and it. It wasn't. It wasn't, and it was past time for it to be over with. But I think we were all just kind of, when you have a relationship that needs to break up, but you don't,
Well, success can taste sweet or can taste bitter. And it really depends on the intent behind the work. And that's what matters, which is what we were talking Sapphire earlier. It doesn't have to be this whole idea in your head, follow the feeling that you have when you're doing it.
Right.
I wake up in the morning. I don't want to work in the morning. I don't want to do nothing. I don't want to talk to nobody. I don't want to see nobody. I don't want to have nothing to do with nobody, because talking to people, dealing with people, is work. I mean, it really is work. It's a lot of energy exchange. Right. But once I get that first reading going, I feel great and I feel like myself. And then it feels even more so and more so and more so as the day progresses. So even though I may have started that day, like, oh, I don't really want to do nothing today. I don't want to do nothing. I don't want to lift a finger. Once I actually do it, it rolls and it feels great. But you have to just take that first initial step. And then that ends up, spiraling you into passion. Spirals you into a sense of meaning and purpose. And then you feel fulfilled when you're done with it. You're like, I did my shit today. I contributed to the universe today, and I'm very happy and proud of that process. So I need to like back up, and I've earned my ability to, want to pamper and to do for myself what I want to do.
I think sometimes too, it's important to stay on high level of self-awareness and do a regular self-scan. Am I doing it the way that's in alignment? Is there something not even related to it that's bothering me, that's throwing me off my square? Did I not eat the best thing? Do I have indigestion? Like, it can be something that simple, or it can be something very grandiose. So if we're regularly in a habit of doing a self-scan to address the small issues, the medium-sized issues, and the big issues, because it should be fun what we do. We're collectively raising the overall consciousness, right? So I typically get up and I get excited about that, whether I'm creating a video, whether I'm doing a one-on-one coaching session, whether I'm getting ready for a speaking engagement. But now that those things have slowed, they haven't died down, but they've slowed down, I had to self-scan and reevaluate, okay, now what's going to make me excited to get out of bed now? Because I'm not picking out
So I have a question for Sapphire. When is your first video coming out? You have 2 days to answer.
No, well, I have videos that are already out.
Okay, so you already got videos out, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So what are you holding back on right now? What is the thing that you're holding back on right now?
Well, okay. So the reason why I haven't put out anything new was just because, I was just in this place of like mentally exhausted, and it's because like I was running so fast, like, and I think I've told Michelle, like, we've been through a whole lot, like me and my family has gone through a whole lot. So from being homeless and not having a place to stay to finally having a roof over our head, doing everything we can to make ends meet or whatever. And I have a senior, trying to get her ready for college or whatever.
How many mothers go through something like that?
Right. All of them. And I totally understand. Like, I totally understand.
What I'm asking you is, how many people would go through something like that? Probably a lot. You just said a lot, right? Why did you share the value of that experience with these people?
But I have.
Oh,
I have been. Okay. Right. What I was saying was, like, I have videos. I have a lot of videos that I've put out. But it was I don't know if it's, at some point you can push and push and push and push and push yourself, and you're not giving yourself that break. Yeah,
you burnt out.
And that's what happened. Like, I was energetically and physically and mentally just
done.
Burnt. So I was getting to the point to where I was like, I was just in the process of going, and doing whatever we had to keep going. And then I want to do this because I want to help people, because I feel like, even when I didn't have a place or a roof over my head, I was still putting videos out. Nobody would have known. We had no place to stay. I was still energetically, showing the universe, like, look, this is what I'm doing.
My question is, did you share what you were going through in that moment?
Yes. Okay. Yes. And it got to the point to where I was giving and giving and giving and giving so much. And I just broke. Like, I was energetically, there was no more. My cup was absolutely empty because I was giving on all forefronts. And so now I feel like, for me, as being in this place of where the world is somewhat standing still or whatever, I'm getting a chance to rest. And I'm finally getting a chance to recharge my batteries. And I'm finally feeling like that person who I was before, who can conquer the world. And I have something to say, and I have something to share. And I can, give what I have now, because now my cup is back filled. But before, it was like I would get ready to record, and nothing would come out but tears, because I was so spent.
But that's good. Why do you think that's not serving the purpose? Why do you think you not having to break down on camera is serving your purpose? Why do you think that would not fill your cup back up?
Right. I had no words. It was nothing. Like, I'm sitting there and the camera's rolling and I'm just in tears because I have no words.
Yeah.
I have no words.
When you like, what's your setup right now? When you record a video or you make a video, like, what's your current setup right now? How do you, what's your routine to set up and get prepared for all that?
I use my iPhone. I go in my backyard. That's pretty much it.
How long does it take you to make yourself look pretty?
About 15, 20 minutes.
Okay. So you take 15 to 20 minutes, you make yourself look pretty, you take your iPhone, you go to the backyard, you take the video, right? Do you usually do it in one shoot, or do you tend to like cycle back and keep recording?
Right now, I've gotten over that. It's whatever comes out, that's it.
Okay. Perfect. Okay. Now, when you're done with that process, what do you do next?
It's usually uploaded to I add the title of it, and then IGTV or whatever that is, and YouTube, and that's it.
How often are you doing that?
Well, I haven't started back. So before, I was doing that I was on a schedule like every week. I would upload something. 1 week? I mean,
once a week?
Yeah, once a week.
Okay. So once a week, you would take 20 minutes to get pretty. You would record something for what, 10, 15 minutes?
Yeah.
Okay. Like, and then you upload it and then you just tag it to everything and then that's it, right?
Right.
Okay. How much time do you spend on so while you're on break right now, how much time do you spend on social media just going through stuff and comparing yourself to everybody else?
On social media, like 2 hours a day.
Okay. So you spend 2 hours a day going through social media and comparing yourself, but you spend 30 minutes a week.
Comparing yourself.
So you spend 2 hours a day comparing yourself to everybody else and giving yourself bad talk, but you spend 30 minutes a week creating something of value, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So do you see do you see the balance there? The imbalance there that's happening? You're putting way more energy into telling yourself that you're not good enough, or telling yourself that you're not where you need to be, or telling yourself that you failed, or telling yourself that you have not gotten to where you need to be at. But you spend way less time just doing what you really want to do.
Right.
Okay, so I hope that you guys liked this episode, and don't forget to follow all of my friends at Coach Vee MP. So Coach VEEMP at only #1 Sapphire SAPPHIRE at Fernie ESP, and me at Jehoshua 54 and at Between Us Girls Podcast. All right, so I'll see you guys later. Bye.